collect a lot of water quality monitoring data. We have what the criteria are in the codes and the laws of Wisconsin. But then we also have this document called WISCOM, the Consolidated Assessment and Listing Methodology for Wisconsin, WISCOM, that identifies how we're going to look at that data and compare it to criteria. This is really important because a lot of what we find if we go out and sample a site once is that it's hard to have enough data to compare our information to the standards. So again, that baseline monitoring, that first snapshot is just kind of a, let's see if there's anywhere that we need to go back and follow up. But there's a whole lot more information that we would need to really understand the condition of our waters. So, and this is the last policy slide, so stick with me here. But the WISCOM document identifies how we're going to look at data to determine if a water body is listed. How many samples do we have to have? Over what time period? How are we going to collect that data? How do we analyze it? And it really prescribes the process by which we evaluate data to see if water bodies are meeting their designated uses. We use that to make listing determinations. Okay, so let's get into findings.
Michelle, just to back up one second, sorry, to clarify. So this is the policy or the document that, because there's a lot at stake if a watershed or a stream or river or something is designated as impaired, right? And so this is what you're saying is this is the document or policy that makes it very clear how to get to or why a decision is made to list water impaired, right? So it's not just one DNR scientist deciding how that water body is impaired. There's actually a fairly rigorous process there.
Yeah, and not a whole lot of subjectivity. It is very prescriptive, so that's a really good point. It's both what's written into law and code in NR 102, 104, the laws that are written for the state, but it's also this document that identifies here's how much data you have to have in this way, at this time, at this depth, in order for us to have enough information to make a decision. So it's very important, yeah. Go ahead.
I understand the EPA mandates you make set standards. Who then sets the standards, and are they vulnerable to legislative tinkering or administrative changes? How can they be effective and protected?
Yeah. So once every 3 years, we do a triennial standards review, a TSR. And that, at that time, last time we did that was in 2015, coming up again in 2018. And that is when we evaluate our standards and say, do we have the right parameters? Are they at the right level? And then through that process of working with the EPA for approval, we can then have that be codified into law. So there is a process for review. These things are not static and carved in stone forever. You know, the total phosphorus regulation, for instance, just came into law in 2010. So sometimes we add them, sometimes we can change them, and it happens through that triennial standards review process.